at the very least, we're breaking even on it. I don't care. Lower the price back down.
I am almost homesick for the Florida that I knew growing up in the 90s.
They don't actually truly care about this country.
We don't have to watch that, no. I'll turn off the radio. So won't you wake up?
Hey everybody, if you support the show and you support what we do, you can go ahead and subscribe to us on Substack at Florida Frontier Uncensored for $8 a month. Paying $8 a month, you unlock exclusive articles, you get exclusive videos, documentaries, and whatever else is in the making in the future for just $8 a month. That is one Starbucks coffee a month. If you want to take it a step even further, you can become a founding member by paying $100 annually, and you get to come on the show at some point. Go ahead and subscribe to Florida Frontier Uncensored on Substack for just $8 a month. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Florida Frontier. Today, we have our very first Democratic candidate on the show, running for Florida governor. His name is Charles Lewis. I don't know too much about him, but we have him on the show so we can learn more about him. Introducing Mr. Charles Lewis, Democratic candidate for Florida governor. Mr. Lewis, what is the best place, or rather, I should say, where is the best place we can find you? Where's the best place we can learn more about you?
Yeah. You can go to Charles for FOR, Charles for Governor 2026.org.
Okay. Now, my first question.
My website. Sure.
My first question, and every time I interview somebody, every time, I meet somebody, this is always my first question. Why did you decide to run for the thing you're running for now? Why did you decide to run for governor?
Sense, man. There are so many things out here, and we hopefully we'll be able to hit on some of them. We need common sense government. We have all of the people out here, millionaires, and they really don't adhere to what we want. They make promises to us, but they don't keep the promise. Just long enough to get in, then they're going to start doing what they want. And I'm for everybody just like us. Person that's out there, let's get out here, let's do it. We need common sense when it comes to gun control. An 18-year-old can have a gun on his hip, stuff like that. They are still wet behind the ears, so to speak, as we say. I got a little bit of age on me, so that's just one of the things. There are so many different things. I want to, seniors. Our seniors need a great deal of help. Veterans need help. Not that they want to live on it forever, but when we can go and we tell everybody within the continental U.S., we're going to stop you from doing this, but we're going to fight a war and spend, what did they just ask for? $200 billion more dollars? Money can be better spent to take care of our people.
Totally agree. And, actually, to add on to that right there, this is, I stated to you, you're the first Democratic candidate we had on the show. And this being a pretty conservative show. I'm a conservative. Overall, though, I actually don't agree with my president. And, look, I voted for him in 2024 because I believe that he was the better candidate. Although I actually didn't care for him. He was not my original pick. I wanted RFK Jr. in office. That's who I wanted in office. But personally, like,
Moving way out.
yeah, yeah. But overall, though, I have always been against the idea of sending money to any foreign country. I don't care what it is. I don't care who it is. I always hear people saying, oh, well, you're anti Semitic. Oh, you're anti Jewish. You just hate Jewish people. And it's like, no, I just don't want hundreds of billions of dollars of our taxpayer money being sent to any foreign war, any foreign country that supports a genocide. But overall though, totally agree. And unfortunately, we have a lot of Democratic candidates as well who support sending our money to being into a foreign war, sending our money to Israel. No matter who it is, it doesn't even matter. It's not even the fact that it's Israel; it's just the fact that it's being sent to a foreign country. But overall, though, if I don't know what David Jolly's stances are on that, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know too much about David Jolly. I really don't. I've looked into him a little bit, and I know this wasn't really kind of what I planned to go on right here, and we're gonna kind of stick to the script a little bit on this, but just a question out of the blue here: what makes you different than David Jolly? Because I actually don't know. I think we lost him. I will be right back, guys. Hey everybody, if you support the show and you support what we do, you can go ahead and subscribe to us on Substack at Florida Frontier Uncensored for $8 a month. Paying $8 a month, you unlock exclusive articles on Substack for just $8 a month.
Yeah, I got you now. Last thing you were saying something about Jolly,
Yes, sir.
and we just went blank.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if I said something that made you lose or to disconnect from the
No,
stream or something.
no, 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 no,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay, I was about to say, man, I've never had that happen before, although everything's good. But what I was saying, though, oh, my charger's being stupid, but what I was saying, though, is I don't know too much about David Jolly. Uh, I don't know too much about you. What makes you different from David Jolly?
I actually and sincerely care, and I go out and I talk to our people. I talk to as many Floridians, whether they are independent, uh, Democrats, if they're Republican. I actually just get out and talk with people. I don't know that much about him myself. I know he was a Republican at one point,
Yeah.
and now he's a Democrat.
So
I guess
adding,
the difference is going to be you hear grassroots. Well, that's me.
okay.
That is
I know, like with David Jolly at one point, and like you said, he was a Republican at one point, and I'm 90% certain on this, but I'm pretty sure he actually ended up switching to the Democratic Party based off of just malice against the Republican Party, because I guess, what was it? Basically, I think the Republican Party didn't make him the nominee or whatever for something, and then he kind of got mad and switched parties. But overall, though, like I said, whenever you say grassroots, are you talking about like you've came from like I guess you would say below middle class family, like you've actually, I don't know, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. And I have an idea of grassroots, which would be like you have fairly common views, you are a common man. Is that what you mean?
every day right now, as we say here in Florida, transplant Floridian, because I served in the military, United States Marines. And grassroots simply mean I'm getting my support from everyday citizens. That is what I mean by grassroots. I go out, I talk to people, I ask them. I do not want to sit there and say and have a company say, well, you owe us. No, my duty just like in the military, is to the people. And that's who my duty is going to be to.
Okay. And before we move on though here, because I do want to get into property tax. I know one of your main topics running for governor is about property tax. I want to get into that, but real quick, I noticed earlier you mentioned foreign war, sending $200 billion to a foreign war. Are you talking about like, are you or would you be willing as governor of Florida? Let you take governor. Would you be willing to revoke the money from the Israeli bonds that Florida has in Israel?
I'm going to look at every single thing. If I feel, along with those that are around me, that it's not in the best interest of every Floridian, yes. When you and I was talking before time, and I told you that I am big on our seniors.
Yeah.
Right now here in Florida, they're talking about, oh, no more property tax. Well, that is a dumb idea. You cannot go and say we're not going to have a property tax, because then you say, well, it sounds good to everybody. Oh yes, I'm not going to pay property tax. Well, you're going to pay a tax somewhere, someplace else. You're going to be paying a tax. So this is my solution. If you're the age of 65 and up, living in the state of Florida, you will not pay a property tax. Well, isn't that the same? No, they talking about nobody paying it. But see, my solution is this, Charles.
Uh-oh.
Solution is going to be, we have $100 billion that we get in tourism money. $100 that the state of Florida gets. We can tap into that. 2% of that money will keep if you're 65 and over living in the state of Florida. And then we can make up that so nobody suffer. The police will not suffer. Fire and rescue will not suffer. Schools will not suffer because that tax money is still there. We are just leaving a way for, if you're 65 and over, to have generational wealth. Because, you're on a fixed income. Fixed. You don't have anything else coming in. You can't pay a property tax. And what do? They come in and they take your property stuff. If you work for all of your life, you said, I own my home. And when push comes to shove, you don't own it.
Yeah. For sure.
You don't.
And
so,
like me and you actually agree a lot right there. And actually, so this is something that I'm against a lot of Republicans on and against a lot of Democrats on. So I myself, I'm actually against the idea of property tax. I believe that, and I totally agree with what you're saying, because they're going to try to take it out somewhere else if you completely eliminate property tax. That's just how it's going to be. And but overall, and the idea sounds nice though, because if you really think about it, nobody truly owns their home. Nobody truly owns their land, because the moment you stop paying for it, you're essentially just renting from the government every single year. And the moment you stop paying for property tax on your land, they come and take your land from you. And so it's, I don't know. I just think it's kind of rare to see a Democrat kind of actually talk about that. But overall, I agree with you. There needs to be limitations. And if we were to completely abolish property tax, it's going to come out of somewhere else. But overall, though, I know like Governor DeSantis has just passed a thing where he wants to completely abolish property tax. I haven't looked into it too much to the point to where I know exactly how we're going to pay for it. But I like your take on it, though.
They're going to raise taxes somewhere. And in order to pay, with nobody paying it, they're going to have to raise anywhere from 4 up to 7% tax for you to pay for those property tax. You're going to pay somewhere. I was talking to a lady. She's in Miami. She is 76 years old. And this is what she said. She said, I am tired of the U.S. government, to include the state of Florida, pimping me. And I cracked up laughing when she said it. I said, pimping you. She said, well, look at it. They tax me if I got a 401k. If I take it out early, I got to pay tax. When I die, I got to pay tax on my death, and I'm not even here. We have to stop and listen to what people are saying, what they actually do. Now, you made the statement, you said that you're running too,
Yes, sir.
but you got to consider what the people need, what they want. What better example than someone who is just like I'm retired? I have my Social Security. How do I get where I am right now? I'm helping to fund this myself. I'm getting donations from everyday citizens. This is what sets me aside from a lot of other candidates. How many are there? You got about 20, 22 running on the Republican side. You got others running on the Democratic side, about another, 15. You got independents, and everybody want to be governor. We got to have the people decide who they really want, who's going to do the best for them. This no property tax sounds good, but it's horrible. Gun control. I am so tired of hearing on TV, we got another mass shooting. And I don't know how you may feel about it. I know a lot of Republicans I talk to say, oh, that's my gun. You're going to take away my gun rights. No. When I served in the military, I served so that you could have that right to bear arms. That's your amendment, that you get to do that. You get to bear that arm. But common sense. Common sense would tell you that an 18-year-old does not need to have a weapon on his hip. He's still got pablum around his mouth. He doesn't know. He's still home with mom and dad. He gets mad. First thing he wants to say is, I shot him. I feared for my life. Stop using that lame excuse. That's not good. That is not where it's at. We as everyday people have to be responsible for one another. And yes, we are our brother's keepers. We got to turn around and let's face it, do that which is good for everybody, not just a few.
Okay, and I have a question about that and this is not like a gotcha or anything, right? It's just a genuine question.
Okay.
At the age of 18, and I don't think an 18-year-old should have like an M249, right? I totally agree, right? But and I know some buddies, specifically one of my buddies, his name is Garen. He is 17 years old, and he has his own house, and I don't know the whole situation. He got kicked out or whatever. He got a girl pregnant at the age 16, and 17 years old. He has his own house, and they broke up and whatnot, and now he lives by himself. And what is a 17, 18-year-old, and genuine question, what is a 17, 18-year-old supposed to do if they don't have the right to own a weapon, but yet at the same time a 30-year-old dude breaks into the house in the middle of the night?
Do you hear what I said? I said carrying it on his hip, like
Okay.
here in Florida.
Okay, I got you there. Okay.
You're gonna be able to walk around on your hip with a weapon. You should not. And that's one of the things I would greatly correct. You don't need to have no weapon at that age on your hip.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But can you own one at the age of 18 in your home to protect your family? Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. I got you there. Totally understand. Thank you for clearing that up. And we'll get into more of gun control, but I imagine this probably relates to gun control as well. What kind of actions will you take on day one that will ultimately affect Floridians for the better?
Whew, there's a lot of things. One, this thing that has been initiated to take back and do away with the heritage of everybody except Caucasian people that they have put forward here in Florida. I would reinstate the heritage here in the state of Florida. Everybody, we are an inclusive people. We can't do one without the other. Talking about, let's say, they was talking about slavery. Slavery was good for wasn't good for my ancestors and those that are making these decisions. Hey, was it good for them? They made money off of it. They broke other people's back and they didn't lift a finger. So day one, repeal all of that stuff. Let everybody have their heritage. This banning of books that they do, you gonna sit there and tell someone what they can and can't read. Who are you to be able to do that? No, you don't tell nobody what they can do. If you don't like something, like on TV, you have the power to sit there and go click. You can turn it off, turn it to another channel. And I know right now, everybody that's listening to me, they may be mainly Republican, but I'll tell you this. If you like everything that I'm saying today, and I know in the primaries we can only vote Republican or you can only vote for the Democrat, I want you to change. I want you to go down there and say, I would like to change from whatever you are so that I can vote for this guy, Charles Lewis, for governor on August the 18th. You wait, get down the line before the election, general election comes, and you change your mind. Do you know it's an open election? You can vote for whomever you want. Those are the things that, just a few of them that I can make it thing good for everybody.
Okay.
We have to do what people want, not what's going to let our pockets be better.
Okay. And I failed to ask this earlier. But are you a religious man by chance?
I do believe in God.
Okay. And whenever I vote for a candidate personally, one of the first things I look for is whether they're religious or not, because ultimately we get our decision making from our morals and we get our morals from religion. And so I didn't know if that's anything you wanted to share with us or not.
Believing in God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, they're all right there. This is how we go. I don't know. I'm I'm a big nature person. I love nature. Today, I would like to for everybody out there, and y'all can come back and leave a comment later, or if you get a comment, if somebody asks you about it, I want y'all to take a look at a tree. I'm outside right now. The wind is blowing. The top part of that tree is moving. The bottom part is not, and there are others that is not moving. But we're all surrounded by that same wind. But yet, not every part of that tree moves. Why? See what God is doing. So yes, I believe in Christ.
Okay. Cool. So good thing to clear out, especially, and I urge all of my listeners, I've always been fairly, well, not always. I was actually, like I said, I mentioned to you earlier, I used to be fairly liberal. And then my viewpoints kind of switched up a little bit over time. But back in 2024, I was pretty conservative, but I was going to vote for RFK Jr. I was an RFK supporter, and so I urge all of my listeners, uh, don't vote based off of party, vote based off of ideals, because there's a lot of Republicans out there. Even though I'm a Republican, there's a lot of Republicans out there I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, and I would much rather have the Democrat. And that's not to say the Democrat's a bad candidate. That's just saying that I put ideals over party any day of the week. I don't care, any day of the week. But look at, for example, Dr. Oz versus John Fetterman. I supported John Fetterman in that whole thing. Honestly, I didn't care for Dr. Oz. But ultimately, either way, though, we're going to kind of move on a little bit. What's your stance on abortion?
Personal opinion. Excuse me. People bring in talking about God said you shouldn't kill. Uh, you look in the Bible, it does not. God does not say totally abortion is this, that, or the other. Do I believe? I believe in a woman's right to do with her body as she wants, as she will. Her safety is paramount to her. Men, let me put it to you like this. All these men is making these decisions con- concerning a woman's body, what she can and can't do. If women were in charge and told a man, you got to have a vasectomy, you got to be cut, first thing we'll want to do is cross our legs and run. No, it is that woman's right. That is her decision as far as whether she wants to carry that child or not. But that is her right. They have that right. She and her husband have that right. It can be cohabiting with someone, the fiance. They have that right to make that decision. They have to answer to God and what they do. Abortion, and they do it, that is their choice. And I would stand every woman to be able to do that, to make that choice, not some man make it for them.
Okay. And obviously, we're going to have some different views on that. And I do have a question for you. I know you said the Bible doesn't specifically mention abortion, but the Bible does say that God created every person, and or God knew every person before they were even in their mother's womb, and He appointed the nations to every single one of them. And
See,
ultimately,
your mother's womb. I knew you. I created you. Go ahead.
I believe that that every single baby, no matter if it's in the womb, I believe life at conception. I believe that no matter what stage the baby is in the womb, I believe that is a total creation of God. And if you were to even and any sort of abortion at any week is just destroying the very creation of God. And that's my view on it. We're not going to agree on it, but overall, though. I just didn't know what your take was on that, because the Bible does say that our Lord knew every single person before He ever even created them.
So when I said, I created you. God is with us. He says, in the beginning, God says, in the beginning, we created man. We, who is the we? The Son, the Holy Spirit, the Father. We created. So what should we do? You're in the womb, you're there. Should that woman be allowed to make that decision to have that child? Yes, that's her decision. It's not mine. Just like I said, when it comes to men, if women were making the statement, hey, we're gonna cut you because you done had 3 kids and you're not taking care of it.
Okay.
Like you say, there are things. No, I agree. The when you are there, when you are created, yes, you are. People say, well, uh, I've heard people say, uh, in 9 months when the baby is born. Well, dude, you just answered that. You said when it's born, so it's born. It's alive. It's alive in the womb. But anyway, I think y'all know, and you can drop me a message at Charles for Governor 2026.org.
Sounds good. And we're going to move on here. And we kind of went over this, but not really. And then the next topic after this one I'm excited to get into. But for this question itself, though,
Okay.
how would you be able to make life more affordable for Floridians? Like, what's your economic plan for Florida?
Okay. Right now, here in Florida, one of the biggest things is property insurance, difference insurances for your car, for your home. Um, what we need, some of the things that we need to do, the more insurance companies we can get to come into Florida, the lower our insurance rates and stuff will be. Now, I know we have hurricanes and things like this all the time. They come through, tear up different things. But no matter what, we still have to be able to get that insurance and bring that down. Auto insurance, the same way. We need to be able to bring it down. It's just too high. Get those companies come in. Just recently, I went from paying for 2 cars because I shopped around. I went from paying $618 a month to 327. And I'm still trying to shop around and find something better. So what else can the other things that we can do to make things more affordable is that we get companies to come in to Florida, have high skills in them. Do you know and realize, Charles, that we have Florida A&M University, we have Bethune Cookman University here in Tallahassee. Also, we got FSU, we got Gator Country up there. University of Florida. A lot of these kids graduate. What do? They move out and go to other countries. We need to bring those businesses here and get them here. Yes, we're gonna have to make some concessions to do it, but we need that infrastructure here. That's another way that we can do to maintain good, okay, common sense government. I need people to actually stop and think about it. Keeping people here, whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, your main thing is what you feel about what's going out of your household. And you think about what's coming in. Grandma, granddad, how you can help take care of them. We must have that. We got we must do those things. So yes, get that infrastructure here and stop developers. I saw it when I ran down in for the Florida Senate District 39 down in the Hialeah area. Uh, you had people come in, businesses come in, they made these promises. Oh, yeah, we're going to tear your house down. We're going to give you the money and we're going to build something. But then they price them out So now they don't have a place to stay. We have to stop that. And who is there to stop it? The governor of Florida.
Now, I'll tell you, whenever it comes to Governor DeSantis, which, if like me personally, if I was to give a Governor DeSantis on how well he governed Florida, I'd give him A minus and maybe a B plus. And because there's a few things I don't agree with DeSantis on. I'm not, and with me, I'm not one of those Republicans that's going to stick up for every single Republican candidate or every single Republican in office. Try to defend them on everything they do, because there's a lot of things Republicans do that I don't agree with. One of them being is I want to see the FWC reformed, because our board members on the FWC, they're all land developers, like you were just talking about, developers. I believe, and with me, this is like I have a very strong view on this. I have an issue, and this kind of leads me into my next two topics a little bit. But the next one I want to get into education, but after that I want to also get into to immigration as well. But I have an issue though when we have the $100 general in the county, or we're building the $10th general in the city. You know what I'm saying? And we can use that land rather than putting another multi-billion-dollar corporation's building there for the 100th time in the same county. We can use that land to give to local businesses. And a lot of people, a lot of Democrats, they're very pro, try to build up, try to make their state the business capital or whatever it may be, right? But ultimately, this is one thing I actually, as a Republican, I speak about a lot. I have an issue when multi-billion-dollar corporations are profiting a lot of money in our local communities on every single corner of the street, whenever our black community is sitting, our black community is not doing very good financially. They're in Section 8 households. They can't afford education. They can barely afford food. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They're having to live off of EBT. And that's just true for the most part. I hate to see it. So I have an issue. What is it, sir?
I disagree with you on that because you say they are living on it. Do you know that when it comes to being on EBT, food stamps, the majority of people that are on it are white? Look it up.
Yeah, no, I'm not doubting you. Like I'm just saying in general, I have a problem when our black community is struggling financially. I'm not saying it's just for. I'm not saying EBT is strictly for the black community, or the black community has more EBT than anybody else. I'm just saying in general that I think it's a bad situation when we are allowing multi-billion-dollar corporations to put their buildings there, their businesses there. They don't need any more money. We can use that land instead to have black-owned businesses there. Like, for example, we had a restaurant in our city called Mr. B's Barbecue. It was a black-owned restaurant. It was so good. I loved that restaurant so much. One of my favorite places to eat in Lake City. But they went out of business because the family couldn't afford to upkeep the restaurant anymore. But overall, though, the same party, and it's both sides really, because both wings are of the same bird, but the same party who says that they are for building up the black community is also the same party that is also supporting, for example, immigrants out of our country, such as Indians, to be more financially stable than us Americans. I call myself an American nationalist, not because I'm white, not because I'm a racist or something like that, right? But I call myself an American nationalist because ultimately, black, white, whatever color you are, you're an American, and I believe in putting you first amongst all others, which is why I'm against the idea of immigration, because I believe that our immigrants is financially better off than our black community, and as long as that exists, then I will never be in support of immigration until we can fix our own people. And so, anyways, ultimately,
Okay, let's look at something here.
Okay.
When they say Columbus discovered America, he did not discover it. How are you going to discover something
Yeah.
when you already had the native Indian,
Yep.
the natives that was here, and there were blacks that were here? So he did not discover it, you know, but we give him credit for that. Fast forward, communities, you heard me mention generational wealth.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how you can get and keep generational wealth through insurance. That's another thing that you can do is through insurance. Well, what good is insurance going to do me? Uh, Insurance companies, we can stop a lot of this. And and I'm going to follow you with this here for a brief moment.
Okay.
Black on black crime. There is more white on white crime than there is black on black crime. And I'm talking about as a whole around.
Yeah.
If we take and we get insurance companies, because this is what they do. Insurance companies want to keep that money. They don't want to put it out. So you get insurance on each all of your family members. 100,000 $1 million insurance policy. You see officers, police officers going out, they shoot, they kill, people. More than not, people of color, brown, black. If you had an insurance policy on your family members, insurance companies are going to say, wait, hold up, wait a minute. They're going to say, hold up, wait a minute. I repeated it because of this. That insurance company got to keep paying out $1 million policies to different families. Let's just say black families, brown families. They're going to go to that law enforcement place and say, what are y'all doing? Y'all are costing me money. You better revamp this. So everybody that's out there, y'all listen up and listen good. Sue that police department, sue those commissioners, and I know you're running for commissioner, but we'll make them come in line. Because face it, insurance company, they got a lot of pull. And you can get hey, just a tidbit out there. But continue on.
Okay. So one of the other things I want to get into is education. And earlier you mentioned AMU, Bethune Cookman, and FSU. Would you do anything different for the education system in Florida? I don't know if you would do anything different, or is there any changes you would want to make?
Make it equal. Make it equal. I'm here in Tallahassee. I know for a fact that FSU get more dollars than FAMU. It's a HBCU. Bethune Cookman, HBCU. We get more dollars. But yet, they're taking everybody's tax dollars to use and give it to FSU. We got the same young men and women who needs solid education. Listen to me, people. Fairness. I know it's hard to do, but let's do it. Education. My father has always told me, son, a good education, having that degree, got it on the wall. He says businesses they go out of business. What happens if you get laid off? He says, son, you got to have a trade. A trade. You need to know how to go out and cut that yard. You need to know how to go up and put up a fence. You have to fall back on some type of trade. When I came up through school, got in junior high, high school, we had wood shop. We had home economics. We had civil, you know. So teach people in the schools. That's another thing that I want to bring back, other than giving teachers here in the state of Florida decent compensation for them. It is like they got the lottery in just about every state. What is it? 38 states normally do the lottery. Where's all that money at that they told us was going to go for schools? But yet we have teachers coming out of their own pockets throughout a school year to pay for things. That should not be.
Yeah, I mean, my teachers all the time they were buying school supplies for their students. Happens all the time. Happens every day.
Yeah.
And
And we got to pay attention to these things. You know, people just get to thinking about themselves. What's in it for me? You have to think about it's just like this election that they had. People went against the vice president, Kamala Harris, because she was a woman. The second thing they went against her for because she was a black woman. But she was more qualified to hold that position than anyone else. We have promises that were made. We're going to bring down the cost of food. We're going to bring down the cost of gas. We're going to do all of these things from day one. And right the opposite has happened. People, a lot of people said he's a businessman. He's this, he's that. Common sense. If we would have used common sense when we elected our officials, you're running for office. Everybody needs to, their local office, that's where you start. You start with who you make the police chief. You start with who's in city office, who is your mayor, who is your county commissioners. You got to look at them and see what they truly stand for.
mm-hmm.
Your core values is what matters. Vote for what you want, your matters. If they're in line with what you want, that is the thing to do. Not just, oh, well, I'm a Republican, I'm going to stay a Republican, and I'm going to continue to vote Republican. I'm a Democrat, I'm going to stay a Democrat, and I'm going to continue to vote Democrat. I'm an independent, I'm going to do this. Vote for what's going to be about things for you. Okay?
For sure.
What's going to make it good for you?
For
See,
sure.
these are the things that we have to consider. These are the things that we must do. And let's just stop thinking about. I've had people tell me, well, Charles, you don't have enough money to run. All thing I have to do is talk to everybody in the state. I've gone out talking to people, and they be like, the first thing they ask me, so are you a Republican or are you a Democrat? I tell them I'm a Democrat. And when they continue to talk with me, they say, well, dang, what you're saying is makes sense. Right now, Charles, you and I, listen to what you said, you and I agree on a lot more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, we really do. We have more common ground than not.
See, and that's what it is with the state. And we have to stop listening to these billionaires because they have their interests at heart. I was a single parent on active duty. Do you know I had to get up at 4 o'clock get myself dressed, get my daughter up, get her ready, get my son ready, had to get him to daycare, had to get and my daughter to school. Then go to work, come home, cook, clean. And my kids to this day, I tell you one thing, the man is crazy. When I mean crazy, it's meant because they had to clean up. They had to have responsibility.
Yeah,
They had to have responsibility, you know?
for sure. And I
That's
kind
what you gotta have.
I kind of want to move on a little bit. I touched
If I get
into
to talk much, just reel me in.
so I kind of want to get into this. We kind of touched on it. What is your position on immigration slash illegal immigration?
For the state of Florida, we need it. People coming in, they talking about, oh, they taking these jobs. Okay, let's look at it like this. Why are our crops here in the state of Florida rotting in the fields? We, they're an immigrant because none of you want to go out there and work 14-hour days, 10, 12, 14, whatever time it is, you don't want to do it. So now we got crops rotting in the field, people losing their farms. And another thing, they are doctors, they are attorneys, accountants, CPAs. So don't think of an immigrant as somebody that's here just to do manual labor. They're not. But those that do it good. They do it good.
Can I add something to that actually? And you know, a lot of Republicans, and this is actually something I condemn Donald Trump for. Uh, Donald Trump used illegals to build Mar-a-Lago, and the thing about illegals working, and look, I'm not against immigration. I'm not against it. But overall, though, I have a major issue when we have, we have a Mexican, right? He's out there bagging up straw from the pine tree fields and stuff, but he's making $4 an hour because people know that they'll work for $4 an hour. That right there is slavery. At the very least, we need to pay them minimum wage. At least pay them what they deserve to actually get paid. And but overall, though, I think that right there, people say we don't have a slavery issue anymore in the U.S., but we do because we use illegals for our advantage. We do it every day because we know that the work they'll do, us Americans don't want to do. But overall, though, sorry, what was it?
So let's look at prisons. That's a form of slavery. When I say a form of it, I mean, you got people locked up. And don't get me wrong, everybody. You commit a crime, it is justified that, hey, that's what it's for,
Yeah,
you know, to pay. So don't, come at me saying, oh, yeah, you this. No, but we have to do certain things. We need immigrants to do things. Now, one thing about Spanish families that I've noticed, one may come over, they got a house, and you got 3 families living in one house. Before long in that neighborhood, you say, well, dang, it's mainly Spanish here now. That's because they work together to get things done. And a lot of us need to work together to get things done. And that's what we can do. So this thing of that he, and like you say, you're a president, Oh, we're going to round up all the bad criminals. Hasn't done that at all. He's gone after everybody, whether they are here illegally or legally. Round them up, put them in detention centers. But yet, he himself come from an immigration family. People look and watch out for what you're saying and what you're doing. Let's be honest about who we are, how we are, where we come from, and where we're going to. Okay? They pay into our Social Security, but yet they don't get to claim Social Security. So we're going to be in a strong deficit because of what this man is doing. We're going to be in a strong deficit because of what people here in Florida are doing.
Yeah.
Honor people for who they are, not for who you want them to be. Accept people for who they are. Let them live their life.
And so I'm not sure if there's too much more you're going to add to that. But overall, this kind of also tags into the same issue. It's of the same bird a little bit. But is there anything we can do about the homeless situation in the state of Florida? Because we have homeless everywhere. Lake City, Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa, it's everywhere. Is there anything that we can do about that?
Yes, there is. There's a great deal we can do. I live, like I say, I'm here in Tallahassee. Do you know I've been here in Tallahassee for over 10 years. I've seen the same road paved, understand this, 4 times. I've seen other roads not paved. That same money, $200 billion to go fight a war overseas. Do you know how many veterans that are homeless that we could take care of and get them situated
Mm-hmm.
in a home? 200 billion, and the first thing that come out of these so-called politicians come out of their mouth is, we don't have the money. Bull. We got it.
They're spending money we don't even have. Look at the national debt.
You just use it, for what you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Man has added what, $38 trillion? Okay. Look at things, everybody. Is there money to get homeless people uh, we can take care of homelessness if we wanted to in the United States in a year. We could take care of no child goes without eating in a year. We can see that these things are done by applying the money where it needs to be most needed. We can take care of these things. And yes, if I can get the votes to become governor, these are things that I'm going to be saying that we're going to do. And another thing, in the military, if you became an E9, sergeant major, okay, master gunnery sergeant, I'm going to have an open door policy. What does that mean? Open door policy.
Anybody can go to you.
Anybody, whether you voted for me or not. Well, how are you going to do that? You're going to have to take care of the business of the day. I have to eat too. I give me an hour lunch. I can schedule somebody to come in and see me, whether it's, and tell them, you got 20 minutes. That way in my 1 hour, only thing I'm going to tell people is, I need my Sundays. I need my Sundays. because I have to get my fuel back up. I got to get my spirituality back up.
Yep, it's the case of anybody.
And that is how it's going to have to be. But any other day, whether you are Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, you will have an open door policy to come up there and speak to me as governor of Florida.
Yep.
I know where you can't see him, he's busy. No, I'm going to set aside that time to speak to you. I'll probably give you 20 minutes, so you're going to have to be tight with it. 3 people an hour.
I mean, hey, that's understandable. A governor's a very busy guy. So 20 minutes is gracious, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not the see right now. I know you said that's gracious. What's more gracious is that they sought to vote for me. They stood in a line. The least I can do is give them time.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just going to let you know you're running against
Okay.
David Jolly. I pray to God that you are the Democratic nominee. I really do. And because even though I already have my vote secured, right? But at the same time, though, if I'm going to get a Democrat, I want it to be you. Okay, I'm just saying. But overall, though, I want to get into the next topic, and this is somebody you're running against right now, Byron Donalds. He is the first in the polls for the Republican Party, and I don't like Byron Donalds. Matter of fact, I would rather have anybody else as governor than Byron Donalds. But Byron
He's not
Donalds,
going to be the governor.
what's that?
He's not going to be the governor. Y'all
I
look at the message, the ads that are running. It says Byron Donalds, Donald Trump's Florida.
yep.
Donald Trump, Florida? No, this is not his Florida.
No.
This is the Floridians. Okay. Now, see, I would like for you to do this. I'm on your platform and I'm talking to you, and however many people may be listening, I don't know. But I'm going to say it again. I'd like for you to, go down and change that thing of yours down so you could vote for me, so that you could be that help me get in there. And while you are out talking, you can say, you know, hey, vote for this guy.
Okay. So tagging back on the Byron Donalds. Do you support his agenda? And it's not just his agenda. There's other candidates that's for it too. But would you be in favor of building AI database centers in Florida?
Reason being is because they right now, every site they looked at wanting to put those AI is in areas where people are struggling. They're not putting them in affluent or close to affluent neighborhoods. See, they're not telling people how much water it takes to run those facilities. They're not telling the people how much of electrical drain it's going to be. They're not telling people how unhealthy that is going to be for a surrounding area. They're not telling people that. So, no, I'm against having that AI. Oh, well, it's going to create all these jobs. What is it going to do for your health? What is it going to do for those people who are less fortunate? What is it going to do to them? Think about it.
I'll tell you.
It- no, 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 no.
I'll tell you. Like I am 1,000% against AI database centers, and I find myself having more common ground with you than not, and that. And I have more
I
common.
so
What's that?
think so. When we were coming on, my first Democrat to come on, and I was like, well, I wonder what type of platform he's going to have.
Well, I have and I have like a little over. I have 300 subscribers, so I don't get like a lot. The most views I get is maybe anywhere between 500 to 2,000 views, depending on what it is. Most views I've ever gotten on anything was 16,000 on this channel. But overall, though, my platform is fairly conservative. I have a lot of conservative people. I do have some liberal people as well. I have some independents. But overall, though, me speaking to you, it's
What is it to you to be conservative?
what's that?
What is it to you to be conservative? What
So
is it to you to be conservative? What is a conservative?
so
I'm a liberal. I'm
yeah.
a conservative.
Yeah. So actually, I explain this to people all the time. There's a major difference between a Republican and a conservative. A Republican is, I guess you would say, is of the same wing as one. It's the same wing of the same bird, right? Because you have two wings, but they're both attached to the same bird. But overall, though, what I describe as a conservative is anybody who wants to conserve traditional and cultural values of American culture. The word conservative means to conserve something. It can be to conserve the land, conserve culture, conserve religion, whatever it may be. I'm a conservative overall. I want to conserve our culture, tradition, and our land, which is also one of the reasons I'm against AI database centers as well, because I want to conserve our land. It's bad for our land. It would ruin our water supply and overall. But yeah, that's kind of what it means. That's kind of like what I mean whenever I say I'm a conservative. I'm more, I hate even using the word Republican, really, because there's a lot of Republican people I absolutely despise, really, honestly. Like, I can tell you this: there's a lot of things I don't agree with Trump on. And I might get some flack for that, but I don't care. There's a lot of things I don't agree with Donald Trump on. Overall, like I said, I was going to vote, and whether you like RFK or not, I was going to vote for an independent over Donald Trump. But overall though, that's just how it is, man. Like, I'm me. I don't know. I guess I'm more of an independent, if anything, because I don't always follow my party, and the presidential election is kind of proof of it. I kind of got fed up with a lot of things. But overall, though,
Yeah.
to me, it sounds like you're I guess you would say, so economically, you sound like conservative economically, really. Socially, you're a little bit liberal, but economically, though, you seem a little conservative.
We're doing things the right way. I'm for taking care of people because let's face it, you can't be who you are. Millionaires, they don't care about people,
Yeah.
but yet they're millionaires because of people. People that use their products, whatever it is they may or may not do. And they say, oh, it's because I invested and I did this. People, that is who I'm for. I'm for who that we can get to be the best.
Okay.
That's who I'm for. That is why down in Miami, I want to stop all of those high rise development. And do you know that a one bedroom in Miami on the conservative side of $1,800 a month? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's what they got down there. They get people out of their homes, tell them this, feed them, a line. Soon as they get it, bam, okay, I'm done with you now. You stomp on them, put them under your feet.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to go over one more topic, and I kind of just have a question of my own. Um,
Okay.
Seniors. I know you want to get into seniors. We got into it a little bit. Is there any more that you wanted to cover for seniors? Because I know you mentioned about taking care of the veterans. Why are we sending all this money to foreign countries? Why are we into a foreign war whenever we're not even taking care of our veterans or our seniors? I know you said you want to relieve our seniors of property tax. That's a good thing. I believe in that wholeheartedly. Overall, was there anything else you wanted to touch on whenever it came to seniors?
When it comes to seniors, we need to be able to make sure that as they get older, they're taken care of. We need to have things in place so that people cannot take advantage of them. We need to have good, stringent laws that when people try to overtake their properties, that it's not there. Uh, you one day are going to be a senior. You need to be taken care of. Anybody that's listening, they're going to need to be taken care of. So we need to pour into our seniors. We need to have them protected. And we can do all of this. Call your representatives. If they don't want to listen to you, vote them out. Right now, they're doing all this gerrymandering. And, if your vote wasn't so important, everyone, they wouldn't be doing all this gerrymandering. They wouldn't want to say, well, uh, we're going to do this and how they say disenfranchise voters. Oh, it's not nothing racial. It is racial because the areas they do it in are brown and black areas. So your vote is important, everybody. Never let anybody tell you that it's not. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing all of this and going to these great lengths. We are supposed to do the census every 10 years. This is when we redraw the lines because right now they are running scared in DC that they're not going to have it. That's why they're doing all of this stuff about uh, redrawing lines because they're scared. That's what I believe. And I'll shout it from the mountaintops. Scared.
Okay. And fun question, right? And what's our last question? We'll go ahead and end the show. Favorite movie, favorite color, and favorite hobby.
I'm beginning to like you. Favorite movies. I'm a uh, big Superman. Love the Avengers and all of that other kind of stuff. That's really get in there. My favorite color is blue, and I do adore me some lavenders, which happens to be my baby girl's uh, favorite color as
Okay.
well. Before you end, I want to bring attention to autism. People don't talk about it, we don't address it enough. We need to have good, solid things in there when it comes to health care and the benefits concerning autism. I know we have people there now that don't care. Those are the people you should not vote for because that's going against your best interests. You got to have people to care about you. If they want your vote, like I do, they have to care about you. You have to care about the next person over and next to you. Because autism people, if you could unlock their minds, you'll find out that you are an idiot compared to them. This, some are very brilliant in math, some are great scholars when it comes to English. They have their thing. What was that movie? Ooh, who was that? Dustin Hoffman,
I'm not too
and
sure.
he was a savant. I can't recall the name of the movie. But people, these things are real, and you have to care about everybody.
Yes, sir. Well,
Care about everybody.
thank you for letting me have you on here. It was a pleasure having you on here. It was great.
Anytime you can, if you ever want to just talk again or have somebody on, meet them together, and we talk, give opposing viewpoints. I don't mean to have a, you know, horror kind of thing, but civilly talk,
Yeah,
and that's how we get things done.
yeah, for sure. Well, nothing much more I can really add. And by the way, did you mention your favorite hobby? I can't recall if you did or not. Like for example, mine's fishing. I love fishing. I grew up here in the state of Florida. Grew up fishing. My favorite thing to do is to fish.
Deep sea fishing for me. I like deep sea, and I like gardening.
Okay.
I well, 2 years ago, I wasn't able to get one, but this year, I'm making the time to get my garden.
Okay.
I
Cool.
got it out there in my backyard right now.
I actually
Uh,
just
I,
planted the orange tree.
yeah, well, I have peppers, uh, green beans, okra, corn, uh, tomatoes, red and green bell peppers, uh, collard greens out there. And let's face it, people, y'all better start growing your own food.
Yes, sir. Well, it was nice having you on here. I will definitely have you on here another day. I will keep in contact with you. But thank you so much for letting me have you on here. Is there any ending statements you would like to say anybody?
To any and everyone that's out there right now, we would like for you come August the 18th, which is the primary here in Florida, when it comes to voting for governor. Okay. I would like for you to cast your ballot for me. Go to Charles for FOR, Charles for Governor 2026.org. Leave me a message. Tell me what you want, because everywhere I go, I ask people, what do you want? So that I can implement what it is that you want. I appreciate you having me on your show. And anytime, I'll come back, and I may be your only Democrat that ever show up. Show up, I'll be here, and I'll talk with you. And
Yes,
I
sir.
will always give you an answer. And if I don't have the answer, I'm going to get it to you before the end of that day.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, thank you so much. It was nice talking to you.
Same here. Same here. Have an outstanding day.
You too. Hey,
All
everybody.
right.
If you support the show and you support what we do, you can go ahead and subscribe to us on Substack at Florida Frontier Uncensored for $8 a month. Paying $8 a month, you unlock exclusive articles, you get exclusive videos, documentaries, and whatever else is in the making in the future for just $8 a month. That is one Starbucks coffee a month. If you want to take it a step even further, you can become a founding member by paying $100 annually, and you get to come on the show at some point. Go ahead and subscribe to Florida Frontier Uncensored on Substack for just $8 a month.